Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we're going to be going through my 2021 AFL semi-finals tips and predictions, as well as going through my tips and predictions for the semi-finals. We'll also be going through the tips that I predicted last week to see how I did last week in the tipping. I'm pretty sure I got a pretty average score compared to other people that do the tipping. So we'll start it off with going through my tips for the finals week 1, and then we'll move on to my semi-finals tips. Now, obviously, I did do my finals predictions, I think it was about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I said that would be my last tipping video for the year. Well, I actually lied, just because I think it's pretty good being able to update you guys, because there could be some suspensions, injuries, you know, teams could change form, they could lose form, gain some form, and yeah, there could be some total different outcomes to what I predicted in my finals predictions video, because I actually tipped the Swans to win the flag and that, so obviously that's not going to happen. So I decided, why not do my updated tips each week. We'll continue them this week and also next week, probably also for the grand final. So we'll go see how I did last week in the tipping. So last week in finals week 1, I got a total of 2 out of 4 tips correct, so 50-50 for the tipping. So we'll go through them all. Obviously there was only 4 games because it is the finals. We'll start it off. It was 7:50 p.m. at Adelaide Oval, and for some reason I actually tipped the Cats to win this. Now obviously this was also the finals opener for last season, and they only lost by 16 points, the Cats, in that one. So I was thinking, I reckon they're probably a little bit of a better side than Port, but Port really did just outstand, and they really did prove me wrong, because I thought Port only do well against the good teams this year, but obviously I was incorrect, and the Cats got absolutely demolished by them, and you got to look out for the power in the remainder of the 2021 season. So I got that one wrong. I did tip the Cats by 5 points, and who knows, are the Cats going to go out in straight sets? They're taking on the Giants Friday night footy, so not 100% sure, but we'll have to wait and see. So first one incorrect. Moving on to the first game on Saturday at 3:20 p.m. I tipped the Sydney Swans to get over the line against the Giants, and they lost it by 1 point in the end. Thrilling finish to the game, thrilling finish, I guess, to Sydney's season, because one of these teams had to go that day, and the Swans had to go by just 1 point. I'm pretty sure they kicked 5 points in a row in the last quarter, which just shows how much opportunities and chances they just got rid of, I guess you could say, in that last term. So they had so many chances just to snatch the lead, and they couldn't get it done. So GWS Giants progressed, and the Sydney Swans got kicked out, so that's another one wrong. That's 2 in a row incorrect. Then it was Saturday night footy at Adelaide Oval. It was Melbourne taking on the Brizzy Lions, and I tipped the D's to get this one done, and wowee, they are firing, and I reckon the Lions will probably bounce back after this loss. Like, although it was a 33-point, I guess you could say, demolishing, I reckon still that they will improve the Brisbane Lions. Now obviously we know from previous seasons that they haven't done too well in final series. Like they get knocked out pretty quickly, who knows, they are probably the type of team to get knocked out in straight sets, but I just don't really see it happening, because I feel like they're a bit stronger than they have been in the past few years. But geez, can we talk about the D's? They are in absolutely outstanding fashion, and probably, I would say, they're definitely the favourites at the moment to win the flag. Geez, the D's, 33-point win at a neutral venue as well. I reckon maybe if it was at the Gabba, I reckon Brisbane would have won this. The neutral venue really helped out the D's in this case, and they got it done by 33. Huge win for them. Moving on, it was the last game of finals week 1, the Dogs and the Bombers. Now, a lot of people went into this thinking, can the Bombers break their finals loss drought? And obviously that's not the case. The Dogs got it done very, very comfortably. The Dons only scored a total of 36, which is pretty poor. And that ends their season as well. In the elimination final, you just couldn't really see the Dogs, after everything they've done in the home and away season, you couldn't really see the Dogs just dropping off and getting kicked out first game of the final series. So therefore, that is why I tipped the Dogs. But I was a bit iffy with this one, because I didn't know, because they lost against Hawthorn just a few weeks earlier at Utah, so I was like, they surely can't win against the Dons there. They played pretty good footy, I guess you could say. It was a bit in the first 2 quarters. In the first half, the Dons were on top, then the Dogs were on top. It was just a lot of back and forth footy, a lot of lead changes there. And the Dogs just managed to get a hold of the Bombers in quarter 3 and 4. and they managed to get a cruising win home very comfortably in the end as well. So they move on and kick the Bombers out. There we go. Now that we have gone through my finals week 1 tips to see how I did, we are going to move on to the semi-finals tips and predictions. Here we go. For the 2021 season, it'll start off Friday night at Optus Stadium for Geelong and GWS going head-to-head. Now, the Cats have $1.39 to win this, and the GWS Giants have $3.10 odds to win this. In my opinion, I reckon Geelong should win, but for some reason, I feel like Geelong, I just see Geelong going out in straight sets, and that is a very hard thing. Very hard thing to see, very hard thing to believe, especially being one of the best in the league, probably for the whole season. But think about this, GWS bet Geelong at GMHBA just a few weeks back, so therefore I'm going to tip the GWS Giants, and I'm going to tip them in an outstanding win, 25-point win to GWS. I've seen a lot of comments for me to do big calls and punishments for my videos. I'll probably maybe start that off next year, probably not this year, just because there's only a few games left in the round, so we'll think about the big calls and punishments for next year, sorry. So I'm going to tip the Giants in an absolute huge win, 25 points. And at Optus Stadium, I feel GWS don't play the best at Optus Stadium, and the Cats play outstanding footy. I feel like the Cats have a very, very, very big sniff to win this one. But I don't know. There's only 14% of people that have tipped GWS, and I'm tipping them by 25. 86% tipped Geelong. And think about this as well. GWS finished 7th in the home and away season, and Geelong finished 3rd. So there's a massive gap in ladder positions, in the money to win, and also in how many people tipped which side. But yeah, I reckon this one could be alright actually, but I feel like for some reason GWS will just get over the top. Not sure why. This one I feel like will definitely, it's definitely a high chance of me, losing some tipping streaks. But yeah, I'm going to tip the GWS Giants to get on top. Moving on to the last game for semi-finals. Obviously only 2 games for this because it is the semi-finals. I'll try and expand these videos to as high as the duration possible because there are only a few games to go through for each round. So it is the Brisbane Lions and the Western Bulldogs at the Gabba. Now, what do we think about this one? Because the Lions, are they the sort of team to go out in straight sets? Because they've been pretty outstanding this year. But also the Bulldogs, can they get kicked out? Because this is no second chances anymore. No second chances. Whoever loses is out. That's it. That's basically how you got to see it for this round. Hopefully we can get 2 thrilling games, but I'm not 100% sure. I reckon if the Giants-Geelong game is close, there's going to be a lot of stakes on the line this round, just because whoever loses is out for the rest of the season. So every player and the coaches are going to have that in mind. But Brisbane, $1.62 to win it, to the Dogs, $2.35 to win it. The Bulldogs, 31% of people have tipped them, 69% have tipped the Brisbane Lions. It's at the Gabba. Who do I think will win this one? I'm actually not sure. Lions finished 4th, and they kicked the Dogs out of their top 4 position in round 23, which was crazy. Dogs finished 5th. I'm going to tip Brisbane. I'm going to tip Brisbane just because it's at the Gabba. Now, if it was at any other ground in the country, I reckon the Dogs would have a big sniff. But just because it's at the Gabba, just because it is a Brisbane home final, I reckon the Lions will be able to get it done. A margin is a bit hard to pick, because I feel like the Dogs have a very big sniff going into this. Obviously, the money isn't on their side, and neither is also the percentage of people tipping them. It's only a 31%. But yeah, I really think that the Dogs do have a sniff in this one, and I feel like if there's any team to go out in straight sets, it's sort of the Brisbane Lions in finals. Like, obviously they do play outstanding footy in the home and away season, but in finals, when it comes to finals for Brisbane, I feel like that they're just in the bin a little bit. So for that case, well, I'm actually going to change my tip. I'm going to go the Dogs, because the season that they've been outstanding. They've been in the top 2 for most of the year. I'm going to change my tip. I originally did tip the Brisbane Lions, and that's what I was going off here, but I'm going to change my tip to the Dogs just to see if they can get it done. I'll also be streaming this game live reaction, so make sure to tune into that. We'll submit the tips on ESPN tipping, and there we go. If you did enjoy and like this content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. More tipping videos will be coming out throughout the next few weeks for the prelim finals and probably the grand final as well. So if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will hopefully be soon.